has a great promising career. Put your hands together and enjoy the comedy stylings of Mr. Mike Conley.
Hello, everybody. As Mike mentioned, I am new to stand-up. I'm new to Meatball Comedy Stop. A lot of people say that your first time telling jokes are kind of like your first time having sex, but I don't like to talk about my days as an altar boy. I feel comfortable telling that joke because I was a priest for a while. Well, more like a night, Halloween. I wanted to be as scary as possible to children, but I couldn't be Michael Jackson because I'm too black. Speaking of which, Michael Jackson's passing is very sad, but I think he has a kind of interesting distinction. Because as far as I can tell, he's the second guy that was black that we as Americans will all remember as white and all idolize. The other, of course, being Jesus. And if you don't believe Jesus was black, here's the way I see it. He was born under poor circumstances and he never met his biological father. And at the age of 12, he had formed a gang, the Apostles. And at the age of 30, he was executed by an all-white jury under questionable circumstances. He was either black or from Texas, but I would never sully his name that way. I told my dad that joke over breakfast the other day, and he said, "Son, I'll pray for you." And I said, "Dad, it's 10:30. Jesus isn't up yet. Unless he has a court appearance or something." Breakfast in my house was strange, because, in case you can't tell, I'm Catholic, but only half, because my mom was an atheist. And so we'd have breakfast. My dad would say things like, "Jesus, thank you very much for providing us with this wonderful food." But before we could finish, my mom would say, "Because Jesus was an awesome man, let's eat." And that's really confusing when you're 4 or 5 years old, because until I went to CCD, I thought Jesus was a chef. I went to CCD for the first time, and I learned the hard way that I was wrong. Priest got up and said the things that my dad usually says during this inaugural pancake breakfast. But I don't know if you tell I'm a fat kid. So it was all about the pancakes. And so he's going on, he's just droning on, and I'm staring at the pancakes. And then I take a bite out of them, and they were the worst pancakes I've ever had. So I found the priest and I demanded to talk to Jesus. I was like, "Why the fuck would you let Jesus serve such shitty food?" The priest was like, "What, son?" I'm like, "That motherfucker should be crucified." So then we moved. I think that Irish Catholic guilt complex is the most Irish thing about me. My friends here would tell you that it's my alcoholism. My girlfriend would tell you it's my 2-inch cock. I'm just kidding, I don't have a girlfriend. It's been a while since I dated anybody seriously. The last girl I dated seriously was in college, but there was this big intellectual disconnect because the first test that I ever failed was the first she ever passed, and it was for HIV. It was the only positive thing in our relationship. I wish I could say that post-college things have improved, but they haven't. I realized this actually very recently. About a month ago, I bought a box of 100 condoms and a gallon of hand lotion. I've never opened the condoms. I've replaced the hand lotion 4 times. I also no longer own any tube socks that I feel comfortable wearing. And sad to say, my roommates now have the same problem. I don't really look at that. It's not a masturbation issue for me, though. It's really more of an ADD issue. Because I'll get up in the morning, I'll go to the bathroom, and I'm naked in there. I'm like, "Man, why the fuck did I come in here?" And then I see the hand lotion, and I'm like, "All right, let's go for it." So 35 seconds later, when I finish up, I'm like, "Oh, what was I doing in here?" And I forget until I put my socks back on. Oh, speaking of statutory rape, I'm a big fan because when I have sex with a 14-year-old girl and I come after 35 seconds, she doesn't look at me like there's anything wrong. I feel like older people, they don't always relate to that joke, but I grew up in a different generation because I grew up in the porn generation. Internet pornography is just permeated through my generation like nothing else. Like, when I date a girl and I meet her and I like her, I assume that when we start having sex together, she will also let me have anal sex with her while I'm wearing a clown suit. And she assumes that I have a 9-inch shaved cock. So at least we both go home disappointed. Speaking of porn, my love life is sad right now. I've hit that point with my relationship with my pornography where I go home and jerk off, it just looks at me and says, "We don't talk anymore," and rolls over. I made the mistake of returning home a couple hours early a couple weeks ago when I was having a bad day at work. Walked into my house and I heard a noise that I was familiar with. I stumbled into my living room and I discovered my roommate jerking off to my favorite porn film. And I punched him in the face. And then I yelled at the TV, "You fucking cheating bitch." Debbie does Dallas 5 and I have never had the same relationship. It's actually Debbie does Dallas 6, but that's fine. I'll fight it. Yeah, life has been cruel to me. Well, I'm a car salesman by day, so at least I have that going for me. Car sales have been down. It's been very rough recently. Not making as much money as I used to. In fact, I recently had my car repossessed. And if that's not embarrassing enough, tomorrow I have to go and pick up all my stuff. How am I going to explain the size 47 wedding dress? Anyway, that's all I have. Mike, thank you very much for having me tonight. Appreciate it.